Well, it's February down on the plots. We've had about 16 different storms this winter. And it's also 9 degrees today in February. Feels like it might be a false spring. But let's go and see how the plots fared. Let's go and have a look. So today we'll try and get the brassica bed cleared up a bit, get the old cabbage stalks out. Not a lot of usable material really for anything to eat. Maybe some of the calyx can be salvaged, but we'll get that cleared up. As you see, we're doing some hard work and a bit of digging today, but things have been obviously a bit quiet on the plot. Very busy elsewhere in life at the minute, so obviously it's a bit of a chance to take the foot off the gas a bit, get a few things sown at the house, such as the chilies and pepper plants, and get the broad beans in, which we've done. We've done a few videos on those. I'll remember to put a link to the card above if you haven't seen the video on some of the sowings we've done in late winter. But yeah, let's go and get a bit of digging done. So a bit of a whistle-stop tour this February. We missed January, unfortunately, because, well, there's nothing growing. We had about 16 different storms, from Storm Inez to Jocelyn to you name it. We had plenty of winds and cold weather, lots of cold snaps, so not really a lot growing, unfortunately. Plenty of time to tidy up now the ground's thawed a bit, and we've given the front section a bit of a tidy up. I have to do the edging, obviously, on this bit because it's getting a bit tangly, and we've given the what was green manure. We had a little bit, I think, germinate. I think that might be like a bit of, I mean, obviously that one there is a weed, but this kind of stuff was, I think, some of the green manure. The germination was really patchy. It might have been an old bag of seed, but also may have been too cold for the seed to germinate and sown far too late in the season. So another sort of green manure project unfortunately not worked. We've not really got a great deal more in this this kind of stuff, I think. What's a weed, maybe? Oh no, that isn't. There you go, there's one. This stuff here. This was some of the green manure. So, well, we've got a few little bits, and we'll give that a go over with a soil miller. We did the winter green manure over here, as opposed to the autumn green manure. And unfortunately, again, that's not germinated either. So, not a great success, but we have had a surprise, which is the elephant garlic. Now, I thought this was all rotted off and disappeared last year, but we've got a whole row of, I think, elephant garlic popped up. We'll try and keep that if we can. We've got a weed. Then got the, this was the chard, again, sown a bit too late after clearing this bed, but the raised sides have survived. We've got the brassica net down, keeping this a storage area for the minute. Over here, we've started on this bed, cleared the old beetroots out. You can see very small, not really much to speak of. Lots of them have gone mushy. As you can see here, this stuff had disappeared with the weather, but this stuff, some of these are alright. Might have a pick through those. Right, I know it wasn't much to speak of, but I thought a lot of these little mini beetroot were going to get very mushy over winter, but they're actually really still quite sound. So we did actually give them a bit of a rake up the other day, but they've not been, you know, alright. I think if we stick that in a little pickling jar, a few different colours and varieties there. Obviously some of them are not much to speak of, but the ones that are still firm, not damaged, obviously that one's a bit damaged, we might leave that one for the crows. Some of them are alright, they're not decent size. So yes, they were very close together, a bit too close together. If it's too soft, that's too soft, yeah. I mean, some of these they're really too soft. So we'll have a sort of select choice. We'll get maybe one jar out of it. They were just far too closely planted. No thinning. Yep. See? That's good. Decent size. We'll get these out now before we have any more frosts. And then we've made a start on the brassica bed over here, clearing up, drawn up all the sort of weeds that were under the net. I think this will be for potatoes this year, but we'll give that a clear. Pigeons have had a field day on the tops, which is a bit of a shame. A couple of Cavolo Nero plants have survived. Pigeon feed for those, but those ones have been not touched, so I think we're lucky we might get a little mini harvest off that. Yeah, some K-lets still. They're looking nice actually. Put the harvested those and put them in a kimchi, which is super hot. So we'll give that maybe another harvest. Yeah, we had some nice cabbages out of this. Not loads though. Nets. I think I'm going to have a go at making just individual self-contained nets as squares next year. I'm not going to have massively tall brassicas like the K-lets. I'm going to just have them about maybe that high. I can take individual boxed nets off. Got some connectors online through Gardening Naturally, which hopefully shouldn't, nice square, rather than having to build wooden structures. We've got the metal poles already, just the connectors to put things together, and then use some nice strong net clips or some split PVC pipe to some of these cabbages. They're not really worth much, these cabbages, so we'll just get them on the compost heap. Yes, next year I think we'll go back to, well, what has it been, 2-3 years since we've done videos on the plots, and I think either here or there was the first time we put potatoes in. So a bigger bed this actually, so I think we might end up shifting the path slightly or combining two areas to get one nice big area for potatoes or the root crops next year. So some plans in mind. We'll get, hopefully we'll get a better potato yield this year. Here we've got the garlic bed, but the elephant garlic down this end from saved seed. And then down here we've got Kingland White. Hasn't actually shown yet, the Kingland White, but this one down here has. So keep that weeded nicely, fingers crossed. Given this good weed, cleared all this, made a good start on this, chopped a lot down, and I'm afraid I think I'm going to repurpose the slats from the raised beds to put further down, much in the same way as we've done with the other raised bed section down there. I'll try and get this cleared now that is a lot more manageable. There's less foliage to have to deal with, but yeah, doesn't look that pretty, I'm afraid. It's not all nice raised beds and mulch and winter cabbagey crops, but that's the reality of our allotment in winter, unfortunately. So lots of prep to do a bit of tidying up today, I think. So thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. If you've liked what you've seen, we're grateful if you give the video a thumbs up. have any comments or suggestions or any hints or tips, don't forget to write away down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, then you press the subscribe button, which should be flashing below. You'll be notified the next time we'll get a video out. Well, thanks for watching in for the plot tour in February. We'll get a few videos out, maybe a few bit more sowings as we get ready for spring. Well, thanks for watching today. See you next time. Bye. Well, it's the end of March on the allotments. I've got some sunshine for the first time in about maybe 2-3 months. I've had a real set of downpours here in the northwest, but on the allotment, it's last week in March, it's sunny, and we'll have a look. Right, we'll do a bit of a reverse tour. There's not a lot to show, even for March, but things are starting to grow again. We've had a few things which we've planted and potted on, but here we've got the overwintered garlic, which has done pretty well, but there are some gaps. I have been weeding this bed, and there is some garlic in this bit here, but I'm not convinced that that's done very well over winter. Now this variety has done better, but these two here, nothing to show for it. So might be able to get another couple of bulbs of garlic in if we're lucky. The elephant garlic, which we saved from last year, is doing really well, and that does need a bit of a weed, but very happy with that. Over here we've actually managed to get the old brassica bed cleared up, and we've put our first earlies in. So do another video just showing you those planting up. We've got another one on the channel where we put them in containers, but we'll do a very quick one for this year for putting them in the ground, but very happy. So we've got that old brassica section cleared up and the first earlies in, and some second earlies on the end of that row to go in as well. So very happy to have got that cleared up. Over here we've had some broad beans which we've put in. I've done 2 rows here. The germination was a bit patchy, so broad beans are looking healthy, and we'll get a few more done down here and in between as well. We'll sow some seeds, they'll catch up pretty quick. But yeah, just things are starting now, get things properly cleared up. Plot was pretty much put to bed for the winter, some chard. I'm going to actually give that a weed over, and we'll keep that chard, see if we can get it going a few crops before it bolts. Very happy with that. Down here we've got some reserved elephant garlic. Now this was, I thought we'd lost it all, but this stuff is absolutely, it's like a leek. Massive. So we'll get this weeded. I'm not quite sure what we'll get in these 2 beds here, but obviously we've got the potatoes at the other end. Things are now getting a bit of a rush on to try and get things planted in and cleared up. Get these horrible edges knocked back as well. But it's not looking too bad. Weather's nice today. Some nice clear patches to plant in. Things are starting to look a bit better in the sunshine. Well, thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread, the March plot tour. Bit of a quick one. It's been so cold, so wet, so damp and dreary. There's been nothing to grow, but this is now where the season really gets going. So thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, be grateful if you give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments or suggestions, just give them a bit of a type down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, then press on the subscribe button, the bell icon, and you'll be notified the next time we've got a video out. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Cheers, bye. Well, it's the end of April. Not had much in the way of any spring at all. Just to stick with the theme, we'll do the plot tour today on the Beans, Brews and Bread in a blowing gale with about 6 degrees and raining. So let's go and have a look. We've got a bit of Update for April, not been able to get much in. There's more stuff at the house. We've got planted up and sown. Just waiting for the temperatures to improve and the weather to stop raining and not being, 4 degrees. We did get the potatoes in the first earlies in March, so we're going to have a tour around the plot now, have a look, see how things have fared. A few things growing, a few things tidied up, and a few things in the planning. So let's go and have a look. So over here, which was the garlic bed for this year, we did have a bit of a loss in this section here, which was the overwintered garlic, and the only one that survived was this variety here, where we got the wattle started. Bit of an ongoing project that, maybe have to do that each year, but we replaced the garlic here with a new variety in here, this spot here. You can just see that's shooting through now nicely. Got a bit of organic onion and garlic fertilizer down, and the spot here I've just filled in today with the December sown or January sown Spanish globe variety. So that's white Spanish onion, and I've multi-sown these in modules, so I'm hoping that we'll get a bit of a sort of multi-harvest of some spring onions and then hopefully some bulbing onions towards the end of the year. This section over here will dedicate to the autumn sown onion sets. Now they look pretty manky, so I was really just hoping to get this section cleared up and we'll get the autumn sown sets in there. But no, that autumn variety there's done quite well. Happy with that. That's not a bit weedy, but we'll give it a weed over the coming weeks. But that's not doing too bad at all. So yeah, try and stop the weeds competing with the garlic. Now we haven't had garlic or any onions in this section of the plot before for a while, so I'm hoping that we won't get onion white rot. But that is the garlic and a bit of onions stuck in, so fingers crossed for those. Now this was the Ulster Sceptre first earlies and some Charlottes which we got in just in time for a frost to hit. As you can see, they have been hit quite badly. Excuse the thistles. We seem to have grown in the old cabbage section here again. Yeah, some of those not doing so great. I'm hoping that they've not been set too badly back. Here you can see we've got a bit of a tip burn on the end of them from the frost. So I'm hoping we'll get these, hope these hand weeded before they get too big. And here I've got a few raspberries coming up from somewhere. We'll hope that the frost hasn't burnt the first early potatoes too badly and get those tidied up. Fingers crossed. Over here we had the sort of overwintered Aquaculture Claudia broad beans planted up, and we've sown in between those another sowing from seed direct. So these were small plants that we planted up, but these next to them are the next succession, and then after that we've planted up this area here with broad beans again. Over on this part we'll get the beetroot sown in here. I think if I'm lucky I'll get, obviously I'm in the process of getting that grass at the end of that bed out again. We might put a little bit of main crop potatoes, which we've got a small bag left over. But yeah, beetroot here, we'll sow in the next week or so. And here, fingers crossed again, we've got some broad beans coming up, and there's the first showing. So should have the equivalent of one whole length of the bed here in about half of a bed of broad beans. A little bit here of chard, which I'm going to give a go through. Not looking too bad, a bit sorry for itself. We've got some brassicas here, which the main idea is to get those at the end of this bed here. They've got the overwintered elephant garlic, which again, I can't believe how well that's done. Unfortunately, the brassica protection didn't survive. So the idea of having low nets, which were sort of self-contained cubes, a bit like that, didn't work. So I'll be probably doing a small low tunnel of brassicas again on this section. But again, this is honestly the weeds. I'm just even trying to just do the edges of what's going to be sort of the pea section again. It's just a nightmare. But this is just the reality of, trying to keep on top of it. Just a question of getting bits in when you can and trying to keep on top of it, which is easier said than done. But yeah, well, disheartening, but what can you say? It's not too difficult to get out. I mean, the clumps of grass are difficult to get out. The other stuff, the soil miller, Wolfgarten soil miller, will get through it, but again, it's just some of the perennial weeds are a pain in the ass. One would think if you could grow and market dandelions, you'd be a very, very rich person. But once we get the we have got the peas started off at home. We'll do the video for sowing and growing for April, just before closing the month. But we'll get the peas again in this section. I want to get that edge better defined. I think this year I'm going to interplant the peas with cucumbers, courgettes, just to try and cut down on space. Got a few ideas there. But yeah, want to try and get some outdoor tomatoes as well. They're going to be in the sowing and growing video as well for this month. But I forgot about nearly half prepped where we can get going, which isn't too bad. Just over half. But yeah, it's going to be a big job getting that far end done. I mean, as far as harvests go from the Hungry Gap into the start of this year, I don't think that's much crop, do you? That is not great, is it? I mean, look at that. That's all we've had. A little bit of perennial spinach. That's about it. Leaf beet. But onwards and upwards. Let's see what this year will bring. We're only just at the start of spring, although you wouldn't know it. It feels like winter. But that's all we've got. Well, thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. Hope you've liked the tour for this month. Just managed to get in before the end of April. If you liked it, I'm grateful if you give the video a thumbs up. If you've got any comments or suggestions, or if you want to tell us what you're doing on your plots at the end of this month, write down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, then just press the bell icon and the subscribe button below, and you'll be notified the next time we've got a video. From a slightly blustery and rainy April plot tour, thanks for watching. Bye! Well, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread for the end of May. I think summer's finally arrived. We've got actual sunshine. We had a few downpours last week, but managed to get on the plot and get some weeding done and some prep for some of the stuff that we'd got planted at the house, and we've done the video for what's sowing and growing for May. So let's go and have a look at the plot tour for May. Let's go and have a look. Well, welcome to the plot tour for May. Managed to get down and get a few bits and bobs sorted. So things are starting to grow, but so are the weeds. The weeds, you just can't keep on top of the bloody things. We'll go have a tour now. Got a few things planted in, but as soon as you plant something in, you've got to weed something else. But yeah, things are looking good for summer anyway. Plans are now pretty much out the window. So all the planting ideas that we had for spring are pretty much gone because we didn't have one. But we are, I think, pressing forward with summer now. I think we're fingers crossed. We get the strimmer down. Got a cordless strimmer. Going to give things a bit of a blitz, the edges, try and see the wood for the trees. Got plenty of things at home which we can bring up to the plot, get planted for summer crops now that the temperatures are better. We're past the last frost date. We should get some tomatoes in, which you might just be able to see behind there. Just trying to keep on top of it, trying to get some things grown, some things sown. Harvest's probably a little bit of a way off yet. Might have some garlic, maybe some elephant garlic if we're not too unlucky, but fingers crossed. Let's go have a bit of a tour around and see how things are doing. As you might be able to see here, I've got the shallots in. This was the last of the 2 onion beds that we put in, and got a fair, few there, doing not too bad. All seems to be divided up, growing quite happily. Trying to keep on top of the weeds again. These are the red onions that we overwintered. But again, growth isn't massively strong, and these may have been checked as just been, hanging around at the house for too long. So they are bulbing up a little bit, as you see here already. Even for onion sets, the risk is that you might end up going bolting. So take those stalks off if you see them. But yeah, that's the main worry about this onion bed. Over here, the white onions seem to be doing a bit better than the red. These are bulbing up, not too bad. See there, trying to keep on top of the thistles and the mare's tail, but they are, fingers crossed, bulbing up nicely. The second allium bed, if you will. This was the overwintered autumn sown garlic. This was the only one that survived. We don't think we've got rust as yet. The leaves are starting to yellow, as you see from this one here. So I'm hopeful that we don't have any gone bolt, and they also seem to be avoiding the rust. Now, these were the multi-sown Spanish globe onions. They're at least living. Maybe bulbing up a little bit. See there, maybe? Just those ones. Bulbing up a little bit, maybe? And this was a spring sown garlic. Again, this will be later than the other one, because this one was spring sown, but again, doesn't seem to be suffering too badly. Coming along just about alright. And then the autumn sown elephant garlic is absolutely romping away. There's masses of it. This one's absolutely enormous. Just to forgive the weeds, but look at the size of that. Now I have, as with the red onions, removed the flower tips. As you'll see, these have come off, snapped them off, in the hope that they'll now divert their energy into producing the bulbs. Fingers crossed, we'll at least get some elephant garlic. Then we have the potato patch. This is a patch of rocket, and I think the Ulster Chieftain and the Charlotte second early. We had a bit of a failure in the middle. I think that was the cause of the late frost that we had. So we've got a bit of a weedy patch there in the middle, and some of them haven't really. There's one there, you might be able to see it. But this was the, I think, brassica bed last year, so it has been very weedy. I'm aiming really to just try and keep on top of the worst of them, and as they start to flower, get rid of them and give them a pull out. But they will obviously get a good digging over when we start harvesting the potatoes. So aim is to do a double whammy of weeding and harvesting at the same time. But again, not quite yet coming out into flower, although a few are over here. So that's definitely a potato flower and not a weed. So we'll, purple flower on those. Might have a little dig up of one or two of the ones with the flowers and see if we've got any quick harvests that we might be able to get. But no, not too bad on the potato front. At least we've got potatoes in between the weeds. We've got the autumn sown and transplanted Aquadulture Claudia broad bean, and they've got loads of flowers on them. Loads of them. Now, I don't tend to suffer too badly from black fly with broad beans, but I will keep an eye out for them. I don't really want to pinch the tips out because we don't have a great deal. We've got a bit of a succession going because that was the first patch. Then here we had the second patch which we planted, so they'll follow on. So we should get a bit of a succession of broad beans. A bit sick of harvesting them and freezing them, to be honest. So a bit more of a fan of fresh broad beans if we can possibly get them. We have got some pods already. I'll just see them here. Now, there's some little ones there, quite a smallish pod, a little pinch, but very far off from being ready to harvest. But at least we've got some pods set, which is positive. Next to those, we've done about 4 or 5 rows of beetroot, and it's a good weed over. You might just be able to see we've got a little bit of germination there, quite a lot, quite sown thickly, so I will be thinning these. I'm going to have a few rows, I think, of slightly closer planted ones. There. Yeah, happy to have some. Oh, there we go, plenty of them there. Look, I'm not doing station sown this year. This patch, which was beetroot last year, didn't work very well with the clumps. There was just far too many. But fingers crossed, we'll get some here. And I'll get this next patch cleared, and we'll get a few more sown for winter keeping. And the next bed along, we've got some peas. Now these are Oregon sugar pod. I've got these set up in between little posts here. You can see those going up. I've got some jute pea and bean netting which I bought, which we'll get on this weekend. As you can see, they are climbing up these old willow sticks that we had from the house, and there's a nice little bunch there going. So the other side not looking so healthy. I think I'm tempted to possibly take that other side out, do some fresh ones sown so we can get over a succession. Down here you might just be able to see a cucumber. He's not doing too bad on this side, got a little shoot still going. One on the other side, and hopefully we'll get some cucumbers trailing up these. Some of the peas are gone, and the cucumbers might get the benefit of the nitrogen from the peas. But thankfully the cucumbers have survived. Next to those we've got the crimson sort of family variety. So we've got a beefsteak, a plum, a salad and a cherry. I have no idea which is which, but I have kept them in pairs, so they don't look very happy though. As you can see, they are looking a bit. I'm just hoping that's because the weather's been a little bit cooler. So they're not, I mean, they're not like dead, but equally they're not looking massively healthy. I mean, they are setting, you see they're just about setting some flowers. There's another one here. They're all cordon varieties, so keep them trained up these wigwams. But no, quite happy with that. That's a bit of an experiment. And there's the other little cucumber just down there. Now, the rest of that bed, I'm thinking maybe some carrots. Got the chard at the other end taken out, but that's all prepped now. These kickboards, these are just sort of like basically fence panelling. Just actually keeping things a bit tidy. A bit. If you look down, it could be a slightly less weedy bed than the others. But compared to sort of having the hilled beds there, and these are looking a bit more tidy. So I might see if I can get a few more of those and do it that way. But the paths will need redoing again. It's a bit of a pain. Now, other projects at the house, we've got some sweet corn on the go. Got plenty of French beans. I think what we might do is this bed here, where the elephant garlic is come up, which was not planned, but must have been self-sown from last year, is we'll get them out soon, and I think we'll then get the beans in, get the strimmer in, give these two a good strim. And I think this one will be the winter brassicas. I've got quite a few winter brassicas. We're going for a winter brassica system this year, not doing them over summer. They've just been sown. Fingers crossed we'll get some good germination on those and some planted out under cover. But this one next to it will be the beans, and we've got plenty of courgettes and squashes and all kinds of stuff, which we've got in the video from what's sowing in May. Tomatoes that we're doing at the house. We've got the beans on the go, and a few other bits and bats. Well, that's the tour for May. Not looking too bad at this half. Front half's looking in an absolute state, but you only can do what you can do. We should get some potatoes, some broad beans, some garlic, some onions if we're lucky. I'm hoping we might get some peas if these start lumping away. So fingers crossed. Well, thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. Bit of a tour for the end of May. Obviously we're battling to try and get things in, so May's been a bit of a funny month. Didn't really have much spring, so we didn't really have anything really to be going on in the other tour for spring maintenance. I just wish we'd been able to maybe get on top of the weeds a little bit more, but all we really can do. That's the reality of it. I don't, pretend to show the warts and all. Obviously with, trying to balance work life, plot, channel, do other hobbies, that kind of thing. So trying to keep on top of it at the same time as growing produce is a constant challenge. But you know what? The weeds always come back, so you're never going to get rid of them. So you might have to have a bit of a think about what level of weeds you're prepared to live with. So you can try and keep on top of them, get them before they flower, they seed, and create more problems down the line. I suppose if you get a hot enough compost bin, re-compost. So you can always plant in between them as well, so you get a few harvests if you're lucky. That's May. Bit of a slightly more relaxed tour this month. Not loads going, but if we get a few things planted for next month, fingers crossed we'll have a few more things that we can show. Thanks for watching along today. If you like the video, great if you give it a thumbs up. If you get a chance, go and have a look at the what's sowing and growing for summer crops on the video from the other week. Some good ideas there, a few things that we're growing. Hopefully I'll put a card up. So thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions or tell us what you're growing in a minute, pop them down in the comments below. And if you haven't, I'm grateful if you press the subscribe button, the bell icon, to be notified the next time I've got a video out. Thanks for watching, and as ever, see you next time. Bye. Well, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread for June. Summer's arrived. It's about over 26 degrees today. So, managed to get down to the allotment, then the close of the day, and we'll have a look, see how things are getting on. Let's go have a look. Well, last month we were doing battle with the weeds, and that was all about it. But this month, thankfully, we've managed to get some harvesting. So I think the June tour is going to be a lot better to have an idea of how things have gone on the plots. Still battling with the weeds, but with some produce in between them. So we'll have a bit of a tour for June. It's been very, very dry recently. We had a really bad spring. Things have really struggled in some areas, but we're getting some stuff off the plot, so things are not doing too bad. We've had a decent haul of some produce. We're going to have a look at the tour and see how things are growing. So over here we've got the garlic bed, which I think is nearly ready. I mean, some of them are definitely to the 4 dried leaf stage. Not had a lot of rust, thankfully, although a few are showing a few signs there. So those, I've managed to get that clump of 3 garlic sown there, but I pulled one from this section and that had a scape on it. I should manage to miss, unfortunately, and not really 4 brown leaves, but as you can see, the bulbs haven't really sort of differentiated and they're quite small, so should really have just given that a bit of a tickle and not took it out. So possibly proof that if you don't take the scapes off, you will get small bulbs. So we will let that one dry. We might, again, take that one off. We're in the middle there, had a scape as well, as is that one. Oh, the sneaky little scapes, they're all on them. So I think we'll top those off. Obviously a hard neck variety. Yeah. Get them topped off. We'll give them a bit longer. So hopefully bulb up a bit more. Next to those we've got the Spanish onions in between the weeds. I'm thinking at this stage we'll just pull them when they get a bit bigger. Just easier to deal with a little bit when they're bigger. Easier to pull out as actual plants with dry weather. So, not looking too bad. Bulbing up a little bit there. Looking good. Very green still. Whereas over here we had these onion sets. Bulbing up a little bit. They're not massive. Well, they're not going green yet, so you know, we're not going brown and folding over yet. A couple are maybe, but we'll get something out of them. It's been a very difficult year. The red ones are looking a bit better actually, slightly. And then the shallots over here, quite nice, looking good. Fingers crossed. Now the potatoes are starting to yellow now and go over, so we're starting to harvest these seriously now. We've taken a few already and they're looking good. Yeah, they've started to go a bit yellow and droopy now, so they're pretty much done. So we're getting those nicely harvested. We've had a pretty decent yield. I've had a go at this end so far, and as you can see, got a few of this sort of purple-eyed variety. Got some Charlottes, and then the Rocket. They're getting pretty big. They're nearly sort of, you know, normal white potato size, so they're looking pretty good. Not a bad yield for 2 or 3, well, 1 plant of each actually, so not doing too bad at all on the potatoes. So we'll get that cleared up and harvested soon. Now the broad beans are doing well. We had a mini harvest this weekend, and these are starting to fill out quite nicely. Been quite firm, so keep on harvesting these, the little ones, and this one here. Hopefully they'll carry on going. Still germinating, so little baby ones there. But yeah, we do have a few attacks of black fly. But again, it's only affecting rid of the tops of the plants on maybe 2. This year I think we've done pretty well. Those were the autumn sown, and these were the spring sown direct. Still loads of flowers on these. So hopefully, again, really well for the broad beans this year. Really happy with that. Our first sowing of beetroot next to them. Do need a good weed as a good King Henry, might be, but and dandelion. But we'll get those weeded and thinned out as well. I think a few baby leaves are really nice. Should be good for salad actually. Really nice looking leaves. A few patches in germination, but if we a few of the bare patches sown up, it should look pretty good. So a bit of a clean up and a weed, that should look pretty good. Now over here we've got some Mediterranean veggie bed, and look, we've got the first baby outdoor tomato. Must be a plum, I think. Another one over there. We're doing well now. The leaves have definitely improved with a bit of sunshine and warmth on them, so they're looking really good and happy. Happy with that, get them trellised up. Obviously got to keep on cheeky little side shoots out. See that there? Got the cheeky little side shoots out. Oh, they're looking good. Very happy. Next to those we've got the Monge 2, the Oregon Sugar Pod. Got some good healthy looking plants now. Keeping on top of these. Germination still going on. Then we've got the squashes. These leaves have suffered a bit. They're the first leaves, they're the sort of first ones after the seed leaves have developed, but they're looking pretty healthy. Again, the tromboncino there. And the first, we've sowed these with the only climbing beans that germinated, unfortunately. These were the Bolotti climbing. But thankfully carried on. Next to those, we've got another few courgettes. I think these are the Bolognese variety courgettes. And we'll get some more climbing French beans direct sown, I think. We'll get them in this section here. Oh, that's looking pretty healthy now. Pretty on top of. This is the least seedy bed for summer. Again, at the front, we managed to get all the overwintered elephant garlic out. And we planted these monsters. Now these are a sort of autumn squash called Lungo di Napoli, and that I'm hoping will run rampant over this section. I'm going to try and get the middle cleared of weeds. And there's another one on the other end, another Lungo di Napoli, a section I managed to clear. I'm hoping that they will go all over this bed, providing with some cover. And those are the elephant garlic. Look at them. Again, I think that's the only thing I can grow on this plot is elephant garlic. Very happy with those. And we're letting those dry and cure. Might be a bit of rain tomorrow evening, so we'll try and get those taken home. But no, very happy with those. Hardneck variety, obviously, so get them dried off. A few, a bit mushy. These are the corms that seem to keep on coming back. I think these were single clove ones that didn't bulb up last year. We got them to grow again, and now they have bulbs. So they are a sort of 2-season job if you do them from small corms or individual ones. So I don't know quite what's going on there, but we'll take them. We'll keep them growing and keep them planting. Tidied the front a little bit. Got a bit of black plastic down just to try and get a bit of workable area, and we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, get some autumn and winter brassicas in that section. So it's not looking too bad. I'd say if I was the thing I'm most happiest with, I think it's those tomatoes. I think that's got to be a success for this year. I thought we planted them in too early, that cold snap happened again. They've absolutely bounced back, and I'm very happy. We've got some blight resistant varieties out on the ground at the plot for the first time, so fingers crossed they carry on. Certain bits we're keeping on top of as much as we can. A bit of a compost in place there. The potatoes getting on them up now. The things are moving along, we are getting some harvests. Still quite a challenging year, lots of weeds, but as I said, there's some crops in between them. So I'm calling that a success. Well, thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. If you've enjoyed the video, it's grateful if you give it a thumbs up. And if you do give it a thumbs up, I can guarantee 75% extra potatoes in your harvest this year. I don't think that, but try the thumbs up button and give them away. We'll see. If you want any comments or suggestions, or if you like what you've seen, just type below in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then press the subscribe button, the bell icon, and you'll be notified the next time we've got a video. But thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next tour. Bye! So, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread for July. Plot tour in, but apparently this is what counts for summer in July in the UK now. About 18 degrees, cloudy, muggy, not very nice. Perfect blight weather, if you ask me. But things are starting to grow and still growing, so let's go and have a look. So yeah, it's freezing and it's July. What on earth is going on? Cannot believe how cold it is at the minute. We're supposed to be growing sweet corn, courgettes, you know, hot weather, you know, continental style vegetables, and it's absolutely brassic. Feels like autumn, but we still plant. Hopefully we get some decent warm weather crops. At this rate, I think I'll just be planting turnips and eating those for the best part of a year. But there is a bit of progress on the plot. Got a few things to show in the tour for this month. Harvest is still going on. Mostly the broad beans and the potatoes, which are still doing okay. Bit of a tidy up in some respects, but we'll go and have a look now, see how things are getting on, and we'll work through the tour. Let's go and have a look. Well, welcome to the weediest allium bed in the northwest. This managed to make a start over here, but we'll finish off down there later. But we've got the remains of the garlic. We've not had much success, unfortunately. It's still kind of getting to the stage where they're getting brown on the fourth leaf, but we have had rust, as you can see, this year, and we have had, I think, a bit of a holdover from whenever there must have been alliums in this section before, where we've had white rot. This was autumn sown garlic. Not the best, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I think we might leave that. This one definitely not. Again, cloves just haven't. These have been overwintered. Very small bulbs, hardneck variety, so you would have a smaller bulb, but again, not really fattened up very well. So we might just pick those up, leave them to dry, taking them as we find them. Now this was the spring sown Spanish onion seed. They are bulbing up, and they're not really, shall we say, going great guns. So they've done not too bad in and amongst the weeds. On this side we had the shallots. You might just be able to see a few here. I'm going to give these a tidy up this weekend. There we have shallots pretty much done, I'd say. So I think when we get these a weed, we'll get the shallots out at the same time. Again, yeah, there you go. Not doing too bad. Quite firm still. Not bad size. Cheap seed from Home Bargain or similar. So they're not doing too bad. And the red onions, just about see there, pretty much ready for pulling up. They're not the biggest, they're not the best. Some have thrown up flower spikes, and despite sort of knocking the tops off, they've not been very good. Getting a few down here, ready to lift. The white varieties have done a little bit better. They're ready to pull again. Sluggies, again, it's been quite the year for slugs, but also sort of the weed problems we've been having is perfect habitat for slugs as well. We've not done too bad with the elephant garlic. I think they're ready to come up now. These were sown in late winter, early spring, so saved seed. So hopeful that a few of these shouldn't be too bad. So fingers crossed. Whatever was the variety in this section here, garlic, soft neck, again covered in rust. Look, you can see how it's called rust because it's quite wet. It has a definite rust consistency to it. So, this corner, not the spot for alliums, I think, for next year. But, you know, you live and learn. Now, this section was the potatoes. We had the first earlies, Charlottes, and some second earlies, Kestrel, I think. First early variety was Rocket. Okay, some good harvests out of these. The plants are pretty much all disappeared now, the holms. So I'm just basically clearing the sections from either end. There's a compost bin from home there, which I've upended to try and get the weeds composted a bit quicker in the sunshine. But yeah, as we're going along, clearing this section, and we're getting the holms out, which very few left, as I've mentioned, and getting the tubers up. You can just see, I think that's a Kestrel variety on that far end. I think the Charlotte was in the middle, the Rocket was on this side. Quite impressed with the Rocket variety, actually. Really nice, firm tubers. Might dig a one up now. I think there's a couple of plants down here I've not quite attacked yet, so we'll have a look at those. But no, quite happy with those. Really nice white, crisp white flesh. Really good. Quite good all-rounder for everything. So, and they really seem to bulk up and don't get attacked by much. So if you do leave them in the ground a bit longer, that's a really good variety, I'm finding. But yeah, that was the potato patch, and we're getting that cleared. This might end up being the cabbage patch rather than the one at the front, because that is now undercover. We'll see that at the end. But so yeah, some of the first earlies up. Yep, so this is the Rocket variety, getting really nice harvests off this, and lots of them too. Look at the size of that. Wouldn't be too bad if it's hadn't gone green. Yeah, look at that. Oh, so good. That is a brilliant potato for a first early. Really dense. Really good keeper as well. So, well, missed that one. Absolute smashers. Really happy with those. Now around here we've had the broad beans. We're still harvesting tons of broad beans just off, what's that, about a third of a row? Just look at this, look at the quality of them. Absolutely amazing. Loads of them. Right down here as well, look. This is the spring sown ones. Now, these ones here did get a bit of attack of black fly, but the ladybird larvae had a field day with those, and then which gave us a nice early crop. They're still hanging on in there, some of the plants, but these spring sown varieties are still going now. Absolutely you're churning them out. Look, even down here, look. Absolutely brilliant. So very happy with those. Having to support them a bit with some string. Just look at them. Absolute bean factories. Pretty much finished flowering now. Just a few left. I think I'll just keep these going. Happy to keep harvesting them as they get to a decent size and use them and freeze them. But no, they're doing great. We've got the little beetroot patch here. Got a bit of a weed. Very unusual germination in the middle there, but quite happy with those. I mean, just looking at down here, I'll give them a bit of a thin out. Yeah, decent beetroot. We did have a bit of the compost in place there, and that is into the potato bed there, which we're getting the weeds in, trying to just get them heated super hot. Yeah, in this blazing summer weather we're not having, try and get them broken down. But very happy to be clearing that section, and that might end up being our brassica bed. Over here, very happy with the crimson varieties for the cherry, salad, plum and beef tomatoes. Look, we've got the first little tomatoes there. I think that's the beef variety. That, I think, is the plum variety. They're getting tied up and pinched out as we go along here. Like here, look. There. And there. Get them off. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty vigilant on these. They're going great guns now for outdoors. Very happy with them. Not showing anything in the way about it. They were looking very yellow and very, very unhappy with that cold spell we had in the beginning of, sorry, the end of our last frost date, official frost date anyway. The Monge 2, or Sugar Snap, the Oregon Sugar Pod, doing very well. Still having to keep up on top of these, just can't harvest them quick enough. Realistically, that is a lot of peas off what was effectively, I think, a 1.5 foot long piece of guttering. The stuff that had been in the root trainers just didn't seem to take. Could have been a planting time thing, but no, very happy with those. We'll get some of those harvested today. And then, quite happy with this section. We've got the beans, Blue Lake. I think that's Borlotti at the back. There's some more Blue Lake down there. But the courgettes, the tromboncino, look at them go. Look at them go. We've got some first little fruits there. Little one there, maybe. Can you get in there? Little fruit there, look. Tromboncino. Trying to get these trellises built to pick them up off the floor. Because this one's, oh yeah, got little baby fruits there as well. on that one. Try and get those trailed up. And we've got some other little varieties of, look, little baby one there, little baby courgette. That's the bolognese. I'm happy we've got one bolognese. As I think, I don't know what that one seems very compact. That one, I don't know what that one is. I think we've got 3 tromboncino there. There's another one. Fruit look, yeah. That's 3 tromboncino. What am I going to do with all these courgettes? I'll have to do a courgette competition. Answers on a postcard and you receive a free tromboncino in the post. So I did have one end here of what's it called? I think it was St George or something of the what are they called? Runner beans, that's it. So there's one germinated there at least. Oh, happy with that. Very good. And last on the old Kirky bits, we've got the Lungo di Napoli and shock reveal, viewer advisory warning. Look at that already. Got 2 massive fruit on that. See how far these stretch in the end. We've got the lead. There's the, it's underneath the leading shoot, but that, really so happy with that. And they'll obviously trail over the remainder of this bed and meet up with another Lungo di Napoli plant where we've got here. Now this one, a bit of a split on the bottom of the stem. I don't know what's caused that, but I might hill that up maybe. But this one seems to be doubling back on itself. There's a leaf there, and we're getting the, it's not much longer. Lead shoot. Not developed as many fruits right at the beginning of the plant, which is quite unusual. Well, it's unusual. Not in keeping with this one over here, which seems to have developed the fruits really early. Perhaps this one will just do 2 massive ones and stop at that. But we'll see. There we go. I've covered the front of the plot up because I'm really struggling to keep on top of it this year with the weeds and what have you. We've got some sowing and growing at the house. We've got some calabrese going, other brassicas. So I think, although we'll be turning over the cabbage, sorry, not the cabbage, but we're turning over the potato bed. I think that might become the candidate for the the brassicas, just to try and stem the weeds. But no, it's not looking too bad at all. Although if I can get under that, give it a soil mill, that would be a decent spot for the cabbages. You never know. Now, there's the plot for July and this non-scorchio weather. Thank you for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. If you like what you've seen, then be grateful if you give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments or suggestions, or you'd like to give us a bit of chat as to what you're getting onto and what successes you're getting in your garden this month, then type away in the comments below. And if you haven't already, then press the bell icon on the subscribe button. You'll be notified the next time we've got a video. But thanks for watching this week. See you next time. Bye. Well, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread for early August. We've had some lovely weather, but it's got a bit downcast now. That might be summer over, but we've got plenty going on at the plot. At least we've got our rents to sort out, but some weeds still, but a few vegetables in between them. So let's go and have a look. So yeah, we had what, a week worth of summer, but that was just enough time to get those real warmth loving plants planted. They're all germinated. We've got plenty of beans, plenty of courgettes, got some runner beans on the go as well. So they're all in, they're on their way quite nicely. You can be able to see from last month's video when we got those in first and we got them going on. Is that summer over and done with? Are we going to have an Indian summer? Maybe. Doubt it very much somehow, but we got a few things on the go. A few little things we're going to get on for some autumn planting, because I think, is it now officially? Is that officially the end of summer? We're on autumn now. Next month, September. Time to get a few things in the ground where we've got things cleared up. But we'll go and have a tour now and we'll see how things are getting on. Let's go and have a look. So this is pretty much the garlic harvest we've got. Not a lot, I'm afraid, but there's a few usable cloves there. I've got a nice one there. Might save that one for next year actually, because they have suffered a bit with the white rot. And these are these little Spanish onions as well that I think we sowed them in February, but they really took ages to germinate and they didn't really romp away. I think I may have waited too long before I put those in the ground, but even this patch I think has suffered with, well, obviously the weeds this year, but like white rot I'm sure we've had. I mean, they're okay, but that see here, not brilliant. Might give them a dig up and use them for some pickled onions maybe. Well, that was the onion and garlic bed, but we'll give that a clear. Still a few more to, might be able to just see the scapes there harvested up. But over here, put an order in on eBay and got some leeks. Now, these are late now, but I'm hoping this is where the elephant garlic was. We're a decent harvest on elephant garlic, but we've hauled these in, give them a good watering, and hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to get some harvest off these over autumn and into winter. Looks like something's had a bit of a pull up on that one, look. Yeah. I'll give that one a rescue. Put him in a new hole over there. We'll get him planted in. Something's had a digging up of that one, haven't they? But yeah, leeks, fingers crossed, should be okay. Over here, we put in some late turnips, and on this half, which was originally a whole dedicated carrot bed, which germinated perfectly. We had some lovely little carrot seedlings all over this, until last week when the slugs had the lot. They ate every single one. I think there was only one or two seedlings left. So I didn't have any seed with me the other day to get it resown, but I did have some turnip seeds. So I managed to get half a bed of turnips on this side and carrots on this side. Got a pretty nice sort of carrot fly proof mesh up with some repurposed uprights from the old Clats polytunnel. So we should get hopefully some turnips before winter. And over this side we've got a mix of Autumn King 2 and I think it was Nant. So fingers crossed, they may be small, but at least if we get some kind of carrot this year that isn't decimated by carrot fly, then I'll be very happy, no matter what size it is, even if we're not pulling them up for winter storage. So that is hopefully secure enough against carrot root fly, which I think come back this month, August, so fingers crossed. Now this is the end of the broad bean bed. We've harvested the first lot, and I think this week we'll have a go at clearing out the rest of the spring sown Aquadulta Claudia. But as you can see, these are really full pods. The other ones were a really good size. Just get these plants all taken out. Yeah, I don't really want to dry them on the plant. Maybe leave one or two plants for seed for next year. But But no, really happy with those. They're all in the freezer at home. But that was a pretty good success this year. Happy with those. Nice to have a bit of a block rather than a row for a change. Next to them we've got the beetroot. I had a couple of these already. Some of the bigger ones that have already hearted up. I have to excuse some of the weeds in between, but we've got some pretty good germination down there. Some new ones that are just about, some new ones growing there, so keep going at them. Very happy with that. And then this is what I'm calling the designated Mediterranean bed. Got the tomatoes at this end, doing really well, tying them up, keeping them watered and fed. And look, see, there's some nice sized tomatoes on these already. This is the beef steak variety, obviously, this end. A few of the cherry ones here. They're looking good. And this must be this is the plum variety. So, oh, there's a big one down there. Look at that, heading away. There's the salad variety. Looking pretty good. Might take that one today. Wrapping him up at home, I think. Yeah. What is that, the beefsteak variety? I don't know. Let's have a look. Peas, leaving those to dry on the plant now. Get them cleared away. And the seeds saved for next year. But that one's too, that Oregon Supercut did really well. And then here, viewer discretion is advised. Some of the tromboncino, look. Look at that. That's not the biggest one yet. There's one down here, look at this file. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got quite a few plants of this. Now they are, actually, funnily enough. So coming to some of these are getting a bit old. That, look on there, look at that. These are looking great. Whether I'll be able to keep them training up these supports or not, I don't know. But got the first of the French beans coming on. These little ones there, just coming on now. Probably another couple of weeks at least for those. We've reached the top of the poles. Might get a few sort of 6-foot poles stuck in that, try and get them to carry on a bit more. And we've got some more French beans here. We've got some more baby little courgettes. Now look, that is the bolognese. That's such a productive little courgette plant. I've got too many almost to deal with at home already. But yeah, this is the Genovese or the Romanesco. Can't quite remember which one that is, but again, they're pumping them out. Absolutely prolific. Look, more here even. I've got the runner beans on the end here. So, very happy with this. Really impressed with how that's done. Not too weedy, thankfully. Just about able to keep on top of that. Again, more tromboncino plants here. Little one there. Next to that, got another Genovese, or this one's been really prolific, but I'm not entirely sure these are actually getting germinated, those ones. And down this end is the autumn squash, the Lungo de Napoli, which is already, what, 1, 2, maybe 2.5, 3 metres in length over this bed. We do have, I don't think we've had any germinate yet, but those, I think, are the female fruiting bodies there, but there are, funnily enough, not really any male flowers. I mean, that might be a male flower there. Not one there. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, a little bit more to establish, but then we get some of those big bad boys. This is the entirety of the elephant garlic. Absolute, well, that is the biggest one. That is the size there. Absolute whopper. So that's all of our elephant garlic up, and we've just got a few little cabbagey ones down the bottom here. I've sown a few more at home. We've got these under a temporary cover just before we get the area uncovered to maybe get a brassica net up and going, but it's not looking too bad for August. Not looking too bad for August. Pretty happy. That's a funny shaped courgette. Summer harvests. Oh, long may they continue. So from what had been a pretty dire start to the year in spring, I know, I suppose the potatoes haven't been quite as productive as maybe they could have been, and very weedy, but we've had some success. We've got some beetroot out of the plot, had some broad beans, loads of broad beans, really coming on strong now with the tomatoes and the courgettes and French beans soon. And we've still got a few things that we've planted over there in the corner with the leeks and the carrots. I'm pretty happy with this year. Got a few tomatoes at the house and chilies and peppers, so hopefully do a video updating on those in the middle of the month. But that is a pretty successful August. We'll get some, maybe a bit of an update on some of the stuff going at the house under the sort of covers. Let's go and have a look at those hopefully mid-month. If you like what you've seen today, I'd be grateful if you give the video a thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions, or got any updates on how things are going in your vegetable garden this month, then type down in the comments below. If you haven't already, then I'd be grateful if you press the subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified the next time we've got a video. Thanks for watching today. See you next time. Bye! Well, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread, September 2024. Gotten really cold of late, but we've got a nice warm day today. Nice and sunny. Nice and dry too. Might be a bit of rain this afternoon, but a bit of a chance to go and collect some of the final harvests, see how things are looking, and get the allotment tidied up. Go and have a look. Well, a lovely warm day today, even though it's the very end of September. Bit of a while since we've done the videos. Life's been pretty busy. Work and family and all kinds of things going on. Obviously the weeds have taken advantage of that, but pretty much close to the end of the year now. So a few things to show you this month's tour. Got some nice harvests to finish off. A few things left over to dry. Not quite finished yet, but we'll show you those in a minute. Show you a few ideas what we might be doing for next year's plot, prepping it. I suspect that there'll be a couple of beds that will keep going through winter, maybe for some brassicas. So other than that, I think once we've taken the last harvest and cleared things up a bit, trying to see if we can get a massive manure delivery and try and get a bit of goodness back in the soil. I'm fed up of having things not really work, probably because I've not had a proper manure delivery for maybe sort of 10 years or so I've been relying on things like spot applications, the odd bit of compost when we can pull it together. It's just not enough, I don't think, to improve the fertility of the soil. So we'll be planning for that for next year. So things might go a little bit quiet over the winter seasons. Maybe do some prep videos or move over onto a bit more baking and a bit more brewing on the channel. Might even show the day when the manure delivery comes and shovel in some horse muck. But yeah, so we'll go for the tour today, see what we've got going. Obviously the main bit's productive is the Mediterranean bed this year. Really happy with that, so go and get the tour done. Well, we've got the back end of the plots tidied up a little bit. We've managed to bit of a hack away at the old polytunnel section. Managed to get the last bit pulled out the other day, so we're slowly getting on top of that. Over there we've got a bed of leeks, but I think, unfortunately, whilst I did give it a weed the other day, let's go and have a look. Fortunately, these have been munched. I think we've been had by moth. Is it leek moth or something? I don't know. Suggestions in the comments below, but there's only one that's really hearted up there. So unfortunately, I think this is a bit of a busted flush. Unfortunately, yeah, it's all been chewed and yeah, all the middle gone. So I think we've got some. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? So I think we'll grub those out, and we managed to get some last small plants of cabbage and sprouting broccoli, which I've got here, which I'm thinking we'll plant in this section here. So we'll clear this up, nice little bed, get some protection over it, move this over for the this is going to be for the autumn sown garlic and onions, so we can try and avoid the onion white rot. Get some nice decent compost in that. So unfortunately, whilst they looked pretty nice the other day, they are not great now. So compost those. The old potato bed pretty much tidied up now. Going to give that a good clean out, and I think in next year going to get the paths up, and we're going to go for row gardening. I think the trouble with these paths we've had, I can't get enough wood chip to put them down, and it also, we've only got this 1/2 plot, and I think that takes away from some of the growing space. Like one bed's worth of paths, so I'm thinking we'll pull those up. We'll have one path here which demarks the kind of the back sort of quarter of the plot, and over the front bit we'll just take up all the paths, and we'll try and do some row gardening next year. These sort of side edge boards I'll probably put actually across the back there, and we can have sort of one big growing area, and we'll just do row gardening. It's just not quite worked, these beds, really. Too difficult to keep on top of the weeding. They get a lot of weeds in the paths, as you can see. I'm thinking if we can try and do row gardening and just kind of wheel hoe it, or just hoe it as we go along, do them in rows, we might stand a slightly better chance next year. That's the plan anyway. That was the old potato bed, so we'll get the, you can see the beetroot we've been doing quite well, as you can see here. Some nice beets there, some decent sized ones down in the undergrowth, some little baby ones there, some slightly bigger ones at the back, and try and get a big delivery of manure. Now this middle bed here has been quite the success. Got still some little tromboncino courgettes growing in amongst the weeds. The runner beans haven't done very well, I'm afraid. There's a few on there. There's one or two. Very small harvest of those. The Borlotti, a lot better. That was a bit of a late sowing, that one. That one hasn't done very well. Bit of a late sowing, that Borlotti there. There's some in the pods. Done quite nicely. This one was a decent sowing. Got quite a few in here. They're not quite dry enough, so some at the bottom are drying off quite nicely. They're doing well. And then there's the absolute mother of all tromboncinos. That's the best one we've got. Got two at the house curing, but that one has done absolutely brilliantly. Really happy with that. The smaller courgettes didn't produce lots, but not quite the year for that, I'm afraid. Now the green beans, these are absolutely brilliant. Really happy with these. This is a Blue Lake. Apparently you can leave these to kind of get cannellini beans, but we've been eating the green beans. There's so many. Loads of pods on them. And that's another great success. Happy with those. Again, loads of them. Really good length, really tender. No strings to them. Really happy with that. Absolutely covered in them. The tomatoes, also quite happy with those. These are all the blight-free varieties. Got a few here. I've got to take. These are the salad variety. Really nice. Plants have obviously come to the end now. Starting to succumb a little bit, as you can tell there. But really happy with the final harvests on these. They are quite sweet. Quite sweet, no splitting. Really happy with those. So we've had the beefsteak varieties. Plum ones were really good. They were good to cook with. And then the cherry ones, also really good too. Now the huge squash didn't come off, unfortunately. Tried to fertilise one of the... Yeah, it's just not done it. Absolutely disastrous, that one. And it grew, but nothing came of it, unfortunately. The rest of them have all died off now. So, it's probably... Oh, some potatoes. We've got some good potatoes this year. Some good tromboncino. Loads of French beans, which was brilliant. Some beetroot. Borlotti seems to be okay. And the tomatoes, the blight sort of resistant variety, have done really well. So, not a bad year. Not as productive as it could be. But we're going to try and solve that for next year. So plans afoot. Still a few of these to harvest. Got some nice cherry tomatoes still going. The plants are definitely at their end of the, you can see, end of the, and there. Life now, but yeah, get those home. They should ripen at home in the salad bowl. Maybe ripen up Perhaps they're a little bit too yellow still. But plenty of good harvest still to be had. Yeah, there's loads of these string beans still to have. Got to get these before the bugs do. I've seen a few have been eaten actually. Maybe slugs or something. Yeah, that one's been had. Fortunately, I'll keep that one for some seed if we're lucky. Yeah, loads still to be had. I thought I'd put these in too late, but no, very happy with these. Yeah, got to be careful leaving too long. Yeah, still a bit chewed up. Just see there. Yeah, not great, but get them and maybe get them in the freezer. Still plenty of beans to be had too. Yeah, just some of the harvest from today. We've got some ballotti here which are drying off on the plants, so you can just probably see there they're a bit drier than we'd see from from a bean or something like that. Pods inside should be drying out slowly. I've just took these really for maybe having a few more obviously for dinner, but so these are sort of semi-dried and cooked with these. And then we've got these which are the Blue Lake. Now these are starting to fill out, as you can see. There's a slightly thinner one here at the back. That's kind of good eating as a fresh, French bean. But these at the front, as you can see, the pods are starting to show the beans inside starting to swell up. In this variety, apparently you can leave and have as cannellini beans. So probably wait till you get to those stages for those if they're left on the plant to dry the pod, the actual outside pod. The beans inside will be nice big cannellini beans. So we'll try and keep a few of those on the plant to see, because you can use them as safe seed, both varieties, but you can make sure they're all dry and store them over winter for growing next year or using in like a bean casserole or something. Try those as well. But there we are. End of summer, beginning of autumn. Bean harvest. So these are the blight resistant varieties, and this is the beef variety. Starting to call up nicely. That one, I think, got a little bit of maybe bit of blight there, but these have been going all the way through summer. Really nice. Very happy with these. The crimson varieties. There's the cherry, the salad, the beef, and the plum. These were great all year. Still getting these off now. Plants are starting to just about reach the end of their useful life. Starting to go over, but plenty of these still to crop. Very happy with those. Well, hope you've enjoyed the tour today. If you have, I'd be grateful if you give the video a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything you are looking forward to for prepping over autumn and into winter, then write down in the comments below. And if you haven't, I'd be grateful if you press the subscribe button. I think when I say subscribe, you watching it, it should flash. But if you do, press that button. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you can be notified the next time we've got a video out. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Well, it's November on Beans, Brews and Bread. We just thought we'd skip October for the old plot vlog. Wasn't really that much going on, and I need some serious tidying up to do. So, well and truly autumn. We've had Halloween, All Saints Day today. A few things on order, a few things to plant. Let's go and have a look. Well, welcome to the November tour for Beans, Brews and Bread at the plot. Temperatures aren't too bad. We have had some pretty warm autumn weather. Last week or so was pretty damp. It's now dried off a bit now, which means we can actually get some of the sort of autumn planting, sort of onion sets, elephant garlic, the garlic in. I know I keep on saying I'm not going to do garlic, but I can't help myself. I know I've got problems with white rot in the plot, but you never know. Fingers crossed this year might be the year. So weather's nice and warm, a bit dry this week, so good conditions for getting those in the ground. Also good to get things tidied up as well. A few projects in the pipeline, sort of getting the compost bins tidied up and tidied around the back of the shed. We've got some brambles coming in through the back of the shed, so they need sorting out. Also put an order in for a few winter brassica type things. We've got the small sort of beds near the back of the plot that were sort of where the heritage seeds were trialled out a few years ago, and we had the leeks that didn't work, so we're clearing those out a bit. We've got some winter cabbage and some purple sprouting broccoli for spring. We've got a few other bits on order as well, some kale and things, so we'll get the next bed over from there prepped as well. So do a quick tour now, and then we'll do a little bit of plantings around off. We'll have a look. So we've got the front two beds getting slowly cleared. Breaking down some of those brassica cages, protection that didn't really work last year. The connectors just all snapped and everything, so they didn't really work. We also had that bed there, which was the Lungo de Napoli squash, which unfortunately didn't work at all. We got that in a little bit too late. No German fertilisation of any of the flowers to get any fruits. But earmarked these front two beds and the next one for the manure delivery, which we've got all penciled in. So fingers crossed we're going to get a nice big delivery, and I'll try and probably turn this over a bit, maybe get a really deep load of manure to hopefully suppress the weeds over winter. Trying to get now that autumn's come, trying to get the front bed cleared, which is for flowers as well. Try and cut these bushes back a bit, trim the edges. Got a strimmer at home which you can bring down, which is battery powered, so we can get that hopefully tidied up. Then made a start on breaking down what I like to call the Mediterranean veg bed. We've got the tomatoes finished, hopefully get those up. Not too weedy. Got the sides broken down as well, which you'll see in a minute, but we've got the borlotti, which have all now dried. You can see here the pods are all nice and dried. We'll get those off. These ones are taking forever on this one to dry out. They're still just about got a bit of sort of meat to them on the pods, so we'll let them dry out a bit further. Unfortunately, the runner beans didn't do anything. They were a bit of a last minute plant, but yeah, we've got the boards we're taking down, and we're putting them, as you'll see, a bit further down the plot. The Blue Lake beans, I'm leaving these to dry, see if we can get a few seed for next year. These are taking a bit to dry again. It's a bit of a battle between either birds or slugs or something trying to get hold of those, so I might just harvest those and dry them at home. But that's the med veg bed, which is probably the most successful part of the plot this year. The peas here, they were good, but yeah, we'll get those tidied up, and that'll be 3 beds at the back of the plot all ready. We had the broad beans, they were pretty successful. We've got those breaking down there, and the beetroot, not too bad. I think these have probably gone over now. We had a few, but they were very small. I did suggest I might do a few pickles, but we'll get those up. what we've been mostly working on is the old potato bed, which we've completely de-weeded, and we've got the elephant garlic going in, which we've saved the seed from last year. I'll show you a bit of those planting up, and I think we'll use this for the onions and garlic this year. So probably about the last section of that bed, and then we'll get the rest of it covered in manure. But I'm quite happy now this is clearing up. Fingers crossed we can get the onions and garlic in before it starts getting too cold. So we tried a few different videos the last month. We put a new brewing video up, which was the ginger beer. If you've managed to harvest your ginger this season, then why don't you go and watch that video? Might remember, pop a quick note up there. You can go and watch that video next, which is the ginger beer recipe. That's done quite well, surprisingly. If there are other videos you want, I was promising also to do another sourdough bread video, so we'll try and get that sorted out this month. But if there's anything else you'd like, maybe video thinking about what potato varieties might be going for next year, or some thoughts about the tomato varieties that we might be trying to go, because the crimson variety really worked well on the plot last year, actually better than the ones at the house and the undercover. So maybe some thoughts on that, maybe do a video on that. We're going to do a video when we have the manure delivery, see how that works out. Maybe a whole day of shoveling manure all over the plot. But maybe if you write some suggestions below what you might be interested in seeing over the next few months as things slow down a bit on the plot. This section over here, we had real problems with the leaks. Bought these off eBay. They were really good. I mean, as you can see, if they'd have not been attacked, getting these in sort of, was it late July maybe? Cleared this section from the elephant garlic and it would have been alright, but I really should have covered them up. We've absolutely got hammered with whatever has eaten them, so shame that. But what we're going to do is we're going to get the rest of this bed cleared up and we'll get it pretty much set up like this. This is where we've got some overwintered brassicas. Managed to get a real good deal on this purple sprouting broccoli, which is very small, but I'm hoping we'll just pump away and then maybe give us a nice early harvest. We put some lime in the holes just to try and combat the club root, and they're not doing too bad. They were much smaller than this, so I think if we're lucky we'll get a good harvest in spring off those. And then these were cabbage, let's say something like, you know, little drumhead. Some of them a bit further along than others. Gonna get a bit more protection down on the ground, giving it a weed. Loads of little seedlings of weeds, but giving that a good weed over. So fingers crossed. Get some purple sprouting broccoli and some cabbage early next year. Over here, like I said, we'll put another similar protection down, and we've got some kale, some collie, and I think a few cabbagey kind of things coming as well. So try and get 2 little beds like this set up. Similar kind of thing with these sides. Just seems to keep it a little bit separate from the path. We get some new weed membrane down here. But yeah, like the autumn gives you a chance to see the wood for the trees. We'll get this cleared out hopefully and reclaimed. And that tidied up at the back. What a mess, but you've got to see it red in tooth and claw. There's no hiding on this channel from imperfect allotment plots. But really do need to get that compost bay sorted out, get some front on that and get some of this these weeds in there. That'll be your dirt pile. But it's not looking too bad. Is the shed still standing? Just. So, some tidiness, some prep, all ready for next year. So, we've got the elephant garlic, which we saved from last year. Got quite a lot, which we've managed to save. As you can see, we've got some really nice size cloves which we'll get into the ground. You can see those. But yeah, we'll plant these as we go. We'll get these dropped in. Some really nice sized cloves here. Don't forget, you've got to get them the right way up. Try and choose your big old cloves, just to try and help with the sort of selection of propagating the bigger ones as you go. Now, I was really impressed with this last year, the elephant garlic. So I'm hopeful that we should get a decent harvest this year. I'd say we're probably planting these about twice the depth of the bulbs or the cloves. Try and get them the right way up. Absolute dob of that one. Get to read a few of these as you go. Must be about what? So they've got 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, counting. Obviously, really exciting TV. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 23 times 3. 59. Is that right? Right, also got a new tool. You can see it's an oscillating hoe. This has been great for clearing the small weeds off that bed. But just gonna use that to draw a bit over the been really good for the close work. I feel like a sort of swow, which I've got with the wolf garden tools. But I'm really impressed with this. Just goes under the surface, clears all the tops off those weeds. It's really good. Very impressed. Don't really need, don't need to water any of these in. The ground's quite moist as it is. That's the elephant garlic in. Now we seem to do really well with the elephant garlic, so I'm really happy with that. We'll leave a small space. I'm going to get rid of that compost bin that you're on at the minute, clear that other side of the bed, and we'll get the rest of the onions and garlic in there. That should be enough for autumn sown garlic and onions this year at least. I think from this point on, I'll try and get the hoe on this as we go through winter, just so we keep the weeds down. Then we'll get the lines sorted out where they are, so we don't nip the tops off. But I'll leave those, thanks to mark where I want to have a space between onions and garlic, and that's just about enough to get through with garlic. It's quite the foliage isn't that big to get weeded in between them, but that's a good job. Yes, this is the Kenton Stowe oscillating hoe. I think there was money off this through Marshalls the other month, so that was pretty good. But as you can see, just going over the last of these gentle weeds here, doing a great job of just nipping the tops off as you go in between the plants. So they'll break down hopefully. Nice little gentle rake and weed, and they are all done. Loads of little seedlings of weeds in this, so try to keep on top of them. Nipping the tops off is the way forward, but very happy with that. As you can see, it just, you know, swings to and fro, takes the tops of the weeds off, gives you half a chance of fighting them. So I'm going to try pre New Year's resolution, do some more weeding this year. So, quick job and we'll get the netting back over. If you enjoyed the video today, be grateful if you give it a thumbs up. If you've got any suggestions or comments on what you've seen, or just want to tell what you're doing next year at the minute, then comment below. If you're not already, then press the subscribe button and bell icon to be notified the next time we've got a video up. So thanks for watching today, we'll see you next time. Bye! Well, welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread plot tour for December. Still a bit windy, just going through the end of Storm Dara. Just want to see what the plots look like, if there's any damage or repairs that need doing. We'll have a look. So, welcome down to the plots today for December. Got a quick tour. Obviously not a lot of things to show growing, but a bit of a tidy up, some projects on the go. Well, I don't think we've got anything in the way of damage, luckily. I think everyone's come off pretty lightly on the plots. Nothing too bad. Communal meeting sheds are okay, people's greenhouses are alright, even ones with the windows open. They're looking okay. Well, I think we can say we've managed to weather Storm Dara there. I think everyone's safe. As you can see, we've had a few deliveries of manure. There's one tarped up there. There's a few piles put down there. We've got the tarps out for our delivery. Obviously had it delayed because of Storm Dara. We've got so much rain. It's been, what, 2-3 weeks now since we asked for one. So that's my spot there in front of the plots. As you can see, we've got the tarp out here for the delivery, the drop for our load in front of our plot. So we've got a few tarps extra down. But this is the one for the manure delivery, if we're lucky, before Christmas. But the weather's been so bad, so wet, underground, the tractor can't get down on the plots and there's a risk it gets stuck. So, fingers crossed, we'll get a delivery soon. We've got the front of the plots tarped off, which has really worked actually. I'll show you that in a second, but we've tarped the front off so we can get the manure delivery down at the front of the plots. And we've left the back for the sort of overwintered autumn sown stuff. So you can see here we've got the tarps down, and we'll try and get some of this third bed cleared, but the front two I think are looking pretty good. Get the channel shared a little bit further afield. Give us the thumbs up on the video, bit of interaction, be really appreciated. So give the video a thumbs up. Cheers. We'll have a look down in this section now where we've had the tarps for the longest. These were where the tarps were. We had 2 tarps down here, and the quality of the soil is really good. I mean, there's a lot of seeds, but this has been down for what, maybe 3 months. But if we get a nice deep mulch of compost down on, there's some of the bracken and twiggy stuff that we're clearing. There is a lot of seeds, don't get me wrong, but then I didn't really clear it. I just kind of just put the tarps down and hope for the best. But I think that's really done a smashing job of killing the weeds, and soil quality's not suffered. It's not compacted. It's not suffered for not having the rain on it directly. But I wouldn't want it going for much longer than that. We'll get the edges tidied up on the front of this bed. Bit of a tarp down there just to try and kill a bit more. What I may do is I may leave that tarped to overwinter, get the manure down on this section. If you've got some areas that you're struggling with, black tarps, these are sort of really cheap, couple of quid, camping ground sheets. Probably about what, 2 meters by maybe 3 meters perhaps. Really good. Got the edges tidied up. Not where the first load of manure will go. Transferred them over to this bed. This was more or less clear. We'll get a new path set up here. There's a bit of clearing to do here on the edge of this bed, but as you'll see from in a minute, with getting the edges of the bed sorted out, and I will go for, I think, these bed sizes this year again. Try and keep on top of it and get some new path membrane down. But yeah, happy with that. Hopefully we'll get that manure delivery. This bed is a little bit easier, a bit cleaner. I'm going to put a new path membrane down the middle. Let's get that cleared, and then this shouldn't be too bad to cover over with some manure. Again, this I may roll up this one or just put a new membrane down. But what is helping is these sort of feather edge boards. I've ripped up the path membrane, as you can see here, and we'll get a new path laid out. But that's really helping sort of demark the beds. And this is the bed where we've got the overwintered onions, we've got the elephant garlic and the garlic in. There's a few just coming up. I saw one before. Can we see it? Might have been oh, here's one there. Probably a shallot. Probably. I did see one poking up. There, another one. Another one there. Garlic, no show, but I'm happy for that. But yeah, these feather boards, which were from some collapsed fences at home, and some I already had at the plot, and we'll get that, a few more of those knocked in, and that's really helping. We'll get some proper membrane down. I think that'll look a lot neater. But yeah, those tarps really work well. Are we ready for the manure delivery? Over here, I've got some cardboard down on the old allium bed with the failed leaks. That's clear. I can't believe how that cardboard has kept things under control. That's really positive. Now, here we've got the brassicas. Again, just a few more weeds coming up again, but we'll get them hoed off. But this survived storm dammer as well, so this low netting of the cabbage, and there's a few that have been slugged, but these I think are the purple sprouting broccoli. They're looking pretty good. I think I'd put them in late, but I'm really happy with those. Really strong plants, looking really good. We'll give them a hand weed. Try and get some more path membrane down here as well, and then we'll tackle that in a few weeks' time. I think we might have that area growing again. Back, I've had a fight with some brambles at the back. Getting that slowly tidied up. But looking a bit tidier. Right, time to tidy up that front of the plot. I do work on it, you know. Look, I've even tidied the shed a bit. I mean, you wouldn't tell from the potting bench, but the tools are all nice and safely stored. Might do a few more tool reviews, I think. What do you reckon? Would you be interested in if I did a few more tool reviews? Got Oscillating Hoe video, which we did a few weeks ago. So if you've not seen that one, then go and maybe watch that one. Might remember to put a card up here if I have. Don't think I've got anything in the way of new tools particularly. I've got a interesting one that you might be interested in, which was a grub hoe. But it's a fairly impressive piece of kit, so might give that a go soon. Maybe show you how to clear. We have got quite a bit to clear still on that second or third bed in, which we haven't tarped, so I haven't got enough tarps to cover that as well, so we'll maybe do a video with the grub hoe. So it's looked tidier, but it's also looked a lot worse. There's all the tools, and then they've got the potting bench general storage area. I'll give a tidy up. Some pea sticks there from the willow at home. A bit more storage in the corner. I think we'll get this tidied up. Do you have like a camping stove on your plots? I've seen a few people. They make a brew at the plot. Might be tempted to break out a little camping stove. Bring the camping kettle down, make a brew on the metal potting bench. Got a radio. All the modern conveniences. A few repairs to do to the shed as well. I'll go and have a quick look now. Might be needed. And that shed roof definitely needs some attention. That's the last year that's going to last. Might take the water capture down as well. It didn't really work because the old bin which we were using for water got a crack in the bottom of it. Yeah, that side not too bad. Up there, it's looking pretty good. It's not ripped. But I've got some wood at home to repair the roof. That, yeah, that's not looking so good. And your finger will just go straight through that. Nothing will adhere to that. So that's a project in the new year. See how far we can get away with that. We survived Storm Dara, might survive till spring, fingers crossed. Well, thanks for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. If you like the video, again, grateful if you give it a thumbs up, just in case you forgot from earlier. If you have any suggestions or comments, tell us what you're doing in December. Are you putting the allotment to bed? Are you thinking of some projects? Then write down below in the comments. If you've got any questions, just give us an ask. If you've not already, then we're grateful if you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, you'll be notified the next time there's a video. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Bye!